There are 10 Claude features that can actually make you money online, and most people using Claude have no idea they exist. Look, Claude has dozens of capabilities. You can use it to write poems, explain quantum physics, and debate philosophy. But if your goal is to generate real income, most of that stuff is, well, noise. I spent a lot of time inside Claude testing what actually moves the needle for creators, freelancers, consultants, and entrepreneurs. And what I found is that a small handful of features do the heavy lifting. And there is one feature in particular that I almost didn't include because honestly, it felt too simple. But it's probably the one that's made the most money for people. But we'll get to that. We're talking about saving hours of work creating things people will actually pay for and build systems that run while you sleep. But here's the thing, it's not about what these features do, it's about how you combine them because they are used separately, they're useful. Used together, they're something entirely different. No hidden tricks, no AI hacks, just practical tools you can open up and start using it today. And one of them, number 7 specifically, is something that I genuinely wish I had known when I first started. Stick around for that one. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which features are worth your time, and more importantly, which ones are worth your money. Now, if you want to master AI tools and learn how to build profitable SaaS apps, websites, AI agents, and mobile apps with AI, I've created a complete masterclass that shows you exactly how to do it step by step. This masterclass normally costs $499 to join, but since you're watching this video, you can join completely free. Check the link in the description to get free access to the masterclass and start building today your A-Power business. Let's get into it. The first feature is Claude Code, and this is one of the biggest reasons Anthropic has become such a dominant player in AI. Unlike traditional AI coding assistants where you paste code into a chat window and wait for a response, Claude Code runs directly inside your terminal, VS Code, or any major IDE. It can read an entire code base, make changes across multiple files, run tests, identify errors, and keep working until the task is complete. Because it maintains context across the entire project. It behaves more like an actual software agent than a coding chatbot. The easiest way to understand it is to watch it work. Open Claude Code in a blank folder and give it a simple instruction in plain English, like building a freelancer landing page. Claude Code will create the files, write the HTML and CSS, and output a working page without you touching any code. The same workflow can be used for web apps, browser extension, internal business tool, SaaS products, and countless other projects. That capability is driving serious adoption. According to Menlo Ventures' State of Generative AI in the Enterprise Report, Claude Code was running at $2.5 billion annualized revenue rate as of April 2026. Anthropic also holds 40% of enterprise LLM spending, up front just 12% in 2023. Those numbers put it ahead of most publicly traded SaaS companies by revenue and show how quickly businesses are, embracing agentic AI tools. What makes this especially interesting is that coding knowledge is no longer the barrier it used to be. You can describe what you want in plain English, and Claude Code writes the code, runs it, identifies problems, fixes them, and keeps iterating until the output matches the brief. There are plenty of advanced use cases, but this is easily the most beginner-friendly starting point. The productivity gains can be substantial. AI Builder Club documented a case where a website project that previously took 2 weeks and sold for $5,000 was completed in just 3 to 4 days just using Claude Code. The project price stayed the same, but monthly capacity changed dramatically. The creator went from handling 2 projects per month, generating around $10,000, to handling 5 or 6 projects per month, generating between $25,000 to $30,000 revenue per hour, increased because, well, development time was no longer the bottleneck. The money comes from several directions. Freelancers are already leading contracts, especially requesting Claude Code experience. Current Upwork job postings include fixed prices contracts around $3,000 and expert level projects reaching $4,500. Designer and freelancer Deliberate Foselenki documented completing 12 UI and UX contracts worth $15,000 in a single month, compared to 6 contracts the year before. Her hourly rate also increased from $40 to $75. Some people use Claude Code to build products they own rather than working for clients. Data from Super Frameworks shows independent SaaS founders routinely reaching anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 in monthly revenue. Well, even a relatively small software business generating $10,000 per month at an 80% margins can produce roughly $96,000 annually as a one-person operation. Realistically, documented income ranges sit between $2,000 and $15,000 per month for freelancers. People with a strong pipeline and consistent client flow can reach $10,000 to $30,000 per month. These are documented ranges from people already using the tool, not projections. There is one important caveat. Claude Code can become expensive if you are not paying attention to usage. Uber's CTO publicly shared that a 2-hour Claude Code demo session burned through approximately $1,200. He later said, "I'm back to the drawing board because the budget I thought I would need is blown away already." Cost control becomes extremely important once projects become larger and more complex, especially when you're building for clients. The upside is huge, but treating usage costs as an afterthought can quickly erase those gains. The second feature is Claude Skills, also called Agent Skills. And this one is much easier to understand once you realize it is basically a reusable instruction folder. A skill is built around a plain text file called skill.md. That file tells Claude what role to take on, what to always do, what to never do, and what format the output should follow. Claude then loads that skill automatically when it becomes relevant. The open standard launched on October 16, 2025, and was later published at agentskills.io on December 18, 2025. The important part is that the skills are not locked to one place. No, they work across Claude AI, Claude Code, Cursor, and the API. For non-technical people, this is powerful because writing a skill.md file does not require code. You can open a blank text editor and describe the workflow in a natural language. Think of it like creating a saved mode that Claude can switch it into whenever you need a specific type of output. For example, you could create a LinkedIn post writer skill for B2B founders that defines the role, the tone, the structure, the output rules, and things Claude should never do. Then you can run the same prompt once without the skill and once with the skill, and the difference in quality becomes the demo. That same structure can be used for dozens of other use cases. It can become an SEO blog writing skill, an anti-slop editing skill, a YouTube thumbnail design skill, a client onboarding skill, or a workflow tool for a business team. Ryan Dozer proved the digital product angle by packaging around 20 skills into a $99 bundle, covering categories like SEO blog writing, anti-slop editing, and YouTube thumbnail design. He made over $5,000 in 50 days, which shows that people will pay for well-packaged reusable AI workflows. The simplest way to make money with skill is to bundle them by category and sell them as a digital products on platforms like Gumroad or StanStore. A focused skill pack can sell anywhere from $49 to $149, depending on the niche and how valuable the workflow is. A creator could sell a package for YouTubers, one for freelancers, one for founders, or one for agencies that need repeatable client deliverables. There is also a hosted model, which is usually stronger. Platforms like Agent37 or Agency.io let creators sell access to a skill without handing over the original source file. Agency pays creators 80% of every sale, and one creator on Agent 37 made over $1,600 without giving buyers the actual files. Hosted skills can also be priced as a monthly recurring product, usually around $9.99 to $49.99 per skill. The enterprise side is even bigger. Companies can pay for custom skill builds that turn internal workflows into reusable AI systems. Anthropic already has official partner skill providers like Anthlesia, Canva, Notion, Figma, and Stripe, which gives you an idea the types of organizations that care about this. For smaller creators or freelancers, that means there is room to offer custom skills for agencies, consultants, SaaS teams, and businesses that want Claude to follow their exact process every time. Realistically, skill packs can sell for $99 to $499, depending on how specialized they are. Documented early results are already in the $1,600 to $5,000 range within the first 1 to 2 months, and hosted access can create recurring revenue at $9.99 to $49.99 per skill. There is one important thing to understand before selling these. Selling the raw MD files directly has a real business problem. The buyer has to install Claude Code, configure MCP servers, and get everything working on their own machine. There is no built-in trial, no update mechanism, and once you hand over the file, well, you lose control of the source. Agent 37's founder described that model, Hacker News, as objectively a terrible business model. The better approach is the hosted model, where people pay for the access and you keep control of the product. The third feature is the Anthropic API, especially when combined with message batches. This is where things start moving beyond individual tasks and into building actual products and automated services. The Anthropic API gives direct access to Claude and currently supports a 1 million token context window, which reached general availability in March 2026. On top of that, Opus 4.6 and Sonnet 4.6 can generate up to 300,000 output tokens in a single call. For projects that need to process large amounts of information, those limits are a big deal because they allow you to work with far more context than most AI applications can handle. The easiest way to understand the opportunity is through a single demo. Open a platform like Lovable and describe an AI meeting notes summarizer in plain English. Lovable generates the application, builds the interface, connects the API, and creates the output sections automatically. Run a meeting transcript through it, and you get organized notes, summaries, and action items. The same approach can be used to build customer support responders, document generators, research assistants, and countless other AI tools. A lot of people assume you need back-end development experience to build on top of an API, but that is no longer true. Tools like Lovable and Replit allow you to describe what you want in plain English and generate the application for you. Some people use Claude Code to build the wrapper around the API, while others connect the API to no-code tools like Zapier and automate entire workflows without touching the underlying code. The business side gets interesting because the cost can become, well, surprisingly low. ClaudeLab.net ran the numbers on a simple AI wrapper SaaS using Sonnet 4.6. A user making 50 API calls per month with roughly 2,000 input tokens and 1,000 output tokens costs around 50 cents per month to serve. At a subscription price of $9.99 per month, the growth margin is roughly 95%. Categories that already use this model include meeting transcript tools, customer support autoresponders, and document generation platforms. Another opportunity comes from message batches. These feature processes large volumes of requests asynchronously and cuts API costs by 50% compared to the standard pricing. That makes it attractive for overnight batch jobs that don't need instant responses. Some creators use it to generate daily market summaries, weekly SEO keyword reports, and monthly competitor analysis that, are delivered through paid newsletters on platforms like Substack or Beehive. Content publishing is another documented use case. Some operators use batch processing to build large content catalogs, including Kindle books and blog networks. Generating 20 or more titles as a part of a content pipeline has produced documented outcomes in the 3 to 4 figure monthly royalty range. The income potential depends on which path you take. ClaudeLab.net documents a three-phase progression where operators start around $300 to $500 per month during the content phase, grow to roughly $1,000 to $1,500 per month while providing knowledge-based services, and eventually reach $2,000 to $3,000 per month after a year of consistent operation. The top 10% of operators break $20,000 in monthly recurring revenue. What makes the API categories is that you're not just selling your time, no. You're building systems that can serve users repeatedly. A meeting notes tool, customer support assistant, document generator, or research platform can continue generating revenue long after the initial setup is finished, which is why so many people see APIs as the bridge between freelance work and software businesses. Most AI side hustle videos completely ignore Microsoft 365, which is surprising because this might be one of the most commercially useful Claude features on the entire list. Finance team consultants, analysts, and operation departments already spend their entire day inside Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and Outlook. Claude is now embedded directly into that workflow through a set of Microsoft 365 add-ins that reached general availability on May 7, 2026. Installation takes less than a minute through the Microsoft Marketplace, although the feature is still so new that reviews remain relatively limited. The real selling point isn't an AI-generated spreadsheet or presentation. No, it's the fact that Claude remembers what you're doing as a move between applications. A conversation that starts in Excel continues in PowerPoint, then follows you into Outlook. You don't have to explain the project again every time you switch tools. Picture a consultant preparing materials for a client. They start in Excel and ask Claude to build a comparable company analysis table. Claude can even pull live financial information through integrations with Moody's, LSEG, S&P Global, FactSet, PitchBook, and the Lupa. Once the analysis is finished, the consultant moves into PowerPoint and asks Claude to turn the findings into a valuation summary slide. After that, they open Outlook and ask Claude to draft the client email. The entire conversation carries across all three applications. Here's what it looks like. Open Excel and ask Claude to build a comparable company analysis table. After the numbers are organized, jump into PowerPoint and have Claude turn that analysis into a valuation summary slide. Then move into Outlook and ask it to draft the email to the client. The interesting part is that Claude already remembers everything from the earlier steps, so the conversation continues naturally as you move them applications. The opportunity here comes from the fact that businesses already pay for these deliverables. Financial models, pitch decks, audit reports, board presentations, competitive landscape research, and internal reporting were valuable long before AI entered the picture. Consultants can package financial analysis and pitch deck workflows into fixed price engagements worth anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. Agencies are already producing competitive landscape decks significantly faster than before, while still charging between $500 to $2,500 per project. Work that used to consume 20 hours can now be completed in a fraction of that time. Another angle is training. Most finance and operations teams are interested in AI, but very few know how to integrate it into their existing Microsoft workflow. Teaching teams how to use Claude across Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and Outlook can be packaged into onboarding engagements, workshops, or recurring training retainers. Smaller projects typically fall between $500 to $2,500, while ongoing analyst-style services can reach $5,000 to $15,000 per month on retainer. What makes this especially interesting right now is timing. Only one of the top Claude monetization videos on YouTube covers this feature, and it happens to be the only feature on this list that became generally available after the most those videos were published. The buyer pool is already there because finance and consulting teams live inside Microsoft 365. There just aren't many people creating services, training, or content around it. Well, at least yet. Another feature that barely gets mentioned compared to Claude Code or the API is Claude Cowork. The name sounds simple, but the idea behind it is surprisingly powerful. Cowork is a desktop application that gives Claude persistent access to a folder on your computer. It became available on all paid Claude plans in April 2026 and is designed for work that needs to happen repeatedly without sitting there supervising it. Cowork can connect tools like Slack, Gmail, Notion, Google Drive, and Substack, and it can generate live artifacts, which are dashboards that automatically refresh on a schedule. The easiest way to think about it is as an employee that follows instructions after you've already left for the day. Let's say you manage client marketing reports. You point Cowork at a folder containing exported analytics data and gives it a standing instruction. Every Friday afternoon, pull last week's numbers, summarize performance, write the client's report, and save it to the folder. Once the setup is finished, the process runs automatically. You don't need to open Claude, paste data, or manually create reports every week. Here's what it looks like in practice. Open Cowork and connect it to a folder containing a client's analytics exports. Then, give it a standing instruction to review the data every Friday afternoon, summarize the results, and save a finished report back into the folder. Once everything is configured, trigger the workflow and watch it generate the report on its own. No prompts, no copy pasting, no additional input required. Analytics exporting is just one example. The same setup can be used for email digests, content calendars, research briefs, newsletters productions, competitor tracking, and dozens of other recurrent tasks. The business opportunity comes from selling automation rather than selling individual tasks. Clients are not paying for a report, they're paying to stop creating the report themselves. AI Builder Club documented a workflow that saved 8 clients roughly 3 hours each per month. That adds up to 24 hours of manual work being eliminated. Packaging that type of automation as a service creates a natural retainer model, typically the $500 to $1,500 per month range per client. Local business SEO is another angle. Cowork can review websites, organize findings, and prepare audit materials on a recurring basis. Similar SEO retainers already selling $500 to $3,000 per month range, which means that the market for these services already exists. Some people aren't selling services at all. They're using Cowork to run scheduled content businesses. Daily briefing newsletters can be generated automatically and published to the platforms like Substack or Beehive, then monetized through paid subscriptions. The thing is, the income doesn't necessarily scale with hours worked. No. Once a workflow is configured, the same system can be continued producing reports, newsletter, summaries, and research updates on schedules with very little ongoing involvement. According to CloudLab.net, reaching $2,000 to $3,000 per month within a year is achievable for a Cowork-based service business. On the education side, some school community operators teaching Cowork workflows have already crossed $10,000 per month in subscription revenue. A lot of AI tools focus on helping you work faster while you're actively using them. Cowork takes a different approach. The goal is to keep work moving even when you're not there, which opens up an entirely different categories of services and recurring revenue models. This next feature has one of the lowest barriers to entry on the entire list, which is probably why so many people overlook it. Artifacts is built directly into Claude and works on every plan, including the free tier. Whenever you ask Claude to create something interactive, It opens a side panel and generates the results alongside the conversation. That could be a working HTML web app, a React component, a mermaid diagram, a spreadsheet, a PowerPoint presentation, a PDF, or a downloadable document. One of the newer additions is the Publish As Is link feature, which lets you to share an artifact with someone who doesn't even have a Claude account. The interesting part is that you're not just generating text, you're generating actual products. The workflow is pretty straightforward. Open Claude, even on the free plan, and ask it to create an interactive habit tracker. Within seconds, Claude generates a working tracker inside the artifact panel, complete with checkboxes, a streak counter, and a completion percentage. Once it's finished, publish it as a shareable link and open it in an incognito window. The tracker works perfectly fine without requiring a Claude account. Habit trackers are only one example. The same process can be used to create calculators, quizzes, dashboards, printable worksheets, and all kinds of digital products that people are already buying online. That's where most of the monetization comes from. A lot of creators are building planners, budget trackers, checklists, and productivity tools as artifacts, exporting them as PDF, creating a few Canva mockups, and listing them on Etsy or Gumroad. These products often sell for around $9 each, and a catalog approach seems to work particularly well. Ricky Robinson documented a $100 per day floor with a catalog of around 20 products. Another angle is lead generation. Coaches, consultants, and service business constantly needs way to capture leads. Interactive quizzes, ROI calculators, and self-assessment tools tend to perform much better than static PDFs because, well, people actually engage with them. Marketing agencies routinely charge $500 or more to build custom versions of these tools, while Claude can generate a working prototype in, well, minutes. There is also a printable market that extends beyond productivity products. Wall art, printable decor, and similar digital downloads continue to sell well on Etsy. Joshua Mayo documented earnings ranging from $1,000 to $5,000 per month in certain viral art categories, showing that even relatively simple digital products can generate meaningful revenue when the niche is right, of course. The income ceiling here is lower than some of the other features we've covered, but that's also a part of the appeal. Products can sell anywhere from 99 cents to $29, and getting started doesn't require coding skills, expensive software, or client acquisition. A Claude account, a free Canva plan, and an Etsy or Gumroad stores are enough to launch your first product. Some features on this list are geared toward agencies, consultants, and SaaS founders. Artifacts sit at the opposite end of the spectrum. It's one of the fastest ways to turn an idea into something people can download, interact with, and pay for, which makes it very accessible starting point for someone who wants to, make their first dollar with AI. One of the biggest mistakes people make with AI is treating every conversation like a fresh start. They explain the same business, the same client, the same writing style, the same requirements over and over and over again. Projects are persistent Claude workspaces that store custom instructions, uploaded reference files, and conversation history in one place. Memory takes things a step further by allowing Claude to retain information across sessions automatically. Both features became free for all users in 2026, and each project has its own dedicated memory space. So, work for one client never gets mixed into work for another. The value becomes obvious once you set up a project properly. Create a new project using a fictional client name, then add a simple voice guide to the project instruction. Maybe the client prefers short sentences, avoids jargon, and never uses certain words. Upload a sample of their previous writing and save everything inside the project. Then start a completely new chat and ask Claude to write a LinkedIn post about a product launch. Then start a completely new chat and ask Claude to write a LinkedIn post about a product launch. Don't include any voice instructions in the prompt. Claude automatically follows the writing style because it already has the context stored inside the project. That's only one use case. The same setup works for email sequences, blog posts, newsletters, pitch decks, sales material, and almost any other repeating content format. If you run out of ideas, Claude can even suggest topics that fit the client's voice and audience because it already understands the content you've uploaded. That capability has created a surprisingly large opportunity for writers, consultants, and coaches. One approach is selling brand voice systems. You build a project containing tone guides, style rules, sample content, and brand reference, essentially turning Claude into a custom content engine for that business. Those setups can sell for $47 to $197 as templates, while managed services built around them often range from $300 to $1,000 per month. Ghostwriters have been especially quick to adopt this workflow. Instead of teaching Claude the client's voice every session, everything lives inside the project permanently. According to a case documented by AIbusinesses.vc, one writer increased output by roughly 5 times while maintaining the same hourly rate by using projects as a leverage layer behind the service. Income in the $2,000 to $15,000 per month range is already being documented by ghostwriters using similar systems. Career coaching is another strong fit. A dedicated job search project can contain clients' resume, target roles, target companies, and application materials. Once the foundation is in place, Claude can generate tailored cover letters, interview preparation documents, and job application materials in seconds. Some creators package systems as templates and sell them on Gumroad for $47 to $97. The interesting thing about projects is that they work best behind the scenes. People aren't paying for the project itself, they're paying for the faster content creation, better ghostwriting, stronger personal branding, or more effective career coaching. The project simply becomes the leverage layer that makes it all of these services easier to scale. That's why the strongest outcomes tend to come from attaching projects to a business that's already making money rather than trying to sell the feature by itself. A lot of the features we've covered so far rely on information you manually give Claude. Claude in Chrome flips that around by letting Claude interact directly with the websites you're already using. It's a browser extension that opens a side panel inside Chrome and can read pages, click buttons, type into informations, and navigate websites using your existing browser session. Because it's working inside your logged in browser, it can access information you're already authenticated to see. The feature launched in beta for paid Claude users in December 2025 and opens up a completely different categories of workflow. One of the simplest ways to see this in action is on LinkedIn. Pull up a LinkedIn search and let Claude work through the results for you. Within a few moments, what started as a page full of profiles turns into an organized prospect list that can actually be used. Names, companies, jobs, titles, and locations are already structured and ready to work with. The interesting part isn't the table itself. It's the fact that Claude is pulling the information directly from the browser session you're already using rather than forcing you to copy everything by hand. Before moving on, take a quick look at the extension settings because you'll notice the available models change depending on whether you're using the Pro or the Max plan. Once you understand that capability, a lot of business opportunities start to make sense. Sales teams constantly need prospect lists, competitor tracking, and market research. Claude can gather the information from the pages you're already reviewing and organize it into something useful far faster than a manual workflow. Marketing agencies can use the same approach for reporting. Rather than exporting analytics data, moving it into spreadsheets, and building summaries by hand, Claude can navigate the dashboard, pull the important numbers, and compile the findings into a report. That can be packaged as a recurring deliverable for clients. Competitive research is another natural fit. Claude can review competitor websites, collect information on pricing, features, and positioning, then organize everything to a comparison document that's ready for a strategy meeting. Businesses have paid for that kind of research for years, which makes it an easy service to sell. Some teams are combining Claude and Chrome with Claude Code. Claude Code builds the software while Claude and Chrome test it inside a real browser environment. That creates an opportunity for QA testing services without requiring large manual testing teams. There are also operational use cases. Claude can help sales team keep CRM records updated by matching meeting attendees to Salesforce contact and preparing activity logs. Others use it to clean up inboxes by identifying newsletter, promotional emails, and low priority messages that can be reviewed and removed in bulk. Those services can be sold as a one-time cleanup project or recurring retainers. The income potential here is usually smaller when Chrome is treated as a standalone service. Its real value comes from making another service more efficient. Whether it's lead generation, reporting competitive research, Q&A testing, or administrative work, Claude and Chrome works best as a capability layer that helps you deliver results faster rather than as a product on its own. A lot of people are going to watch this video and immediately start looking for the best feature. That's probably the wrong question. The better question is, which feature fits the skills, clients, or businesses you're already building? Most of these features didn't exist a year ago. A year from now, the list will probably look completely different. The people who benefit the most won't be the ones chasing every new release. They'll be the ones who picked a workflow, stuck with it, and turned it into something useful. All right? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.